Let's read Revelation 13:2. Look at Revelation 13:2, and let's read that. Revelation 13:2 says, quote, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." End quote. Revelation 13:2 tells us that the Antichrist is a political entity. That is a governmental entity. The Antichrist is not a man. The Antichrist that will rule the world is not a man made of flesh and blood that will rise up out of nowhere and deceive the world. Let's get this misconception straight. The idea that the Antichrist is a man born from a woman made of flesh and blood is merely false propaganda disseminated by the Catholic Church. While people are looking for a man born of a woman to rise up as Antichrist, the Catholic Church and the real Antichrist spoken of in Revelation 13 will be introduced and imposed upon Christians without them even knowing. It is imperative that you understand the Antichrist that will rule the world during the 7-year tribulation period is a political entity. The Antichrist is a corporation, a political corporation. It is no different from any corporate political entity today. An example of a corporate political entity is a local municipality, a city government or county government created under the authority of a state's constitution and legislative laws. A corporate political entity is a state government or a national government such as the United States of America, Inc. The Inc. stands for Incorporated. Yes, the United States of America is an incorporation. So we see that the United States is a corporation and is a national government. The legally incorporated government and constitution establishes the political existence of any such country, such as Russia, Germany, France, Ghana, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran, Iraq, or Egypt. A political entity, a political corporate entity, is a legally incorporated government made legitimate and empowered by the Constitution that establishes it as a political entity. And we see that these political entities exist in the form of various national governments, such as Russia, Germany, Iran, Iraq, Egypt, Poland, Ethiopia, Hawaii, Brazil, and any other country around the world. All are political entities created by men. And we'll find out later that all of these corporate political entities are considered persons. Yeah, they're men. Yes. We'll talk about that in more detail. These are corporate political entities. These corporate political entities are created by men. However, political corporate entities are not men. Corporate political entities exist only on paper and inside computers. They are not born of flesh and blood. However, they are, in law, considered persons and entitled to every right and privilege that a human being is entitled to. Today, a political corporation is legally recognized as being a person. Although this is a legal fiction, political corporations are recognized as equal to human beings and afforded all privileges of a human being. A political corporation is entitled to any and all the legal and constitutional rights of any human citizen. A political corporation can sue or be sued in any court. Political corporations are in effect a person or man in the eyes of the law. However, we must understand a political corporate entity is merely a legal fiction or an artificial man or person created by men and recognized by men as being equal to men. Now, we all know being, T-H-I-N-G, created by a man is not equal to God's creation. However, in the eyes of men and Satan, corporations have been created by men to be equal to God's creation. The Antichrist that will rule the world as a one world government is a man created by men. The Antichrist, or man that will rule the world, is a political entity that will be created by men. Now, put your thinking caps on and pay close attention, because we're going to reveal some of the world's greatest secrets, some of the world's most protected secrets of the Illuminati, and those that rule the world are about to be exposed by the Holy Spirit. So pay attention. The Antichrist, or man that will rule the world, is a political entity that will be created by men. This corporate political entity will be given all the rights, privileges, and powers of a man. The man that we all must look for as the Antichrist is the political nation state that will be created by the 10 kings spoken of in Revelation 13. Yes, the Antichrist is a man, but not a man born of a woman. The Antichrist is not a man born of flesh, beyond any reasonable doubt that the Antichrist is not a human being, but a governmental entity composed of 10 countries. Let's go to Revelation 13. Revelation 13:1. Let's read Revelation 13:1. Now that you read Revelation 13:1, we see that Revelation 13:1 states a beast rose up out of the sea. I said before, put your thinking caps on, pay attention, because we're about to expose the secrets of those wicked men that are planning to bring forth a new world order that they don't think anybody knows is about to be sprung on the world. So see what the Holy Spirit has to say here. Revelation 1 states, a beast rose up out of the sea. Out of the sea arose a beast. This beast had 7 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns. Understand, the text refers to the beast having these attributes. Pay attention now. 13:1 says, Revelation 13:1 says, quote, and upon his horns 10 crowns, end quote. Pay attention to the pronoun his. That phrase says, and upon his horns 10 crowns. The word his is a pronoun that describes the gender of the beast. The word his shows that the beast is a male. This beast is a male that had 7 heads and 10 horns with 10 crowns. We know the beast is a male or a man because the word his is used to describe the beast. Revelation 13:1 shows that the beast is in fact recognized as a person, specifically a man. Is this man or person a human being? No, of course not. Let's see why. The man described in Revelation 13:1 has 7 heads and 10 horns. Is that a human being? No, no human being on earth you or I have ever seen. That is not a man. Now stay with me. Let's go to Revelation 13:2. Revelation 13:2 says, "The male beast looked like a leopard, with feet like a bear and a mouth like a lion." While this beast is described as a person of male gender, its physical description here is a political corporate entity or government. All corporations are legally recognized as persons. I'll say that again. All corporations, whether political or nonprofit or for-profit, all corporations are legally recognized in law as persons. Black's Law Dictionary defines a person as, quote, any corporation or organization or entity which has legal rights and duties that are distinguishable from those of other persons, end quote. The definition of a corporation as defined by Black's Law Dictionary is, quote, an artificial person or legal entity created by or under the authority of the laws of a state or nation, end quote. The man referred to in Revelation 13:1 as his is a corporation. The man referred to in Revelation 13:1 is, in fact, a person that fits the description of an artificial entity. The beast that rose up out of the sea is not a woman giving birth to a human child. The man referred to in Revelation 13:1, legally recognized person, but not a person born from the flesh and blood of a woman, nor from the womb of a woman. The man we see in Revelation 13 rising out of the sea is a legally recognized person just like you and me in the eyes of the law. Unlike you and me, power and great authority was given to this political beast or fictitious person. Power and great authority was given to this new political world entity. How do we know power was given to the corporate beast that rose out of the sea? Because in Revelation 13:2, it says that the dragon gave him power. The dragon gave H-I-M, gave him power. The word him refers to the beast spoken of in Revelation 13:1. The pronoun his in Revelation 13:2 refers to the beast in Revelation 13:1. Say it again. The pronoun his that is used in Revelation 13:2 refers to the beast in Revelation 13:1. The pronouns used in Revelation 13:1 and Revelation 2 refer to the same person. These two pronouns both refer to the beast or political entity that rose out of the sea. The 10 kings described in Revelation 13 are empowered to rule and govern pursuant to the powers given to them by the beast. Now, this is no different than the way President Obama is empowered by the Constitution of the United States and the United Nations to rule and govern the American population and exercise control over various foreign countries through the powers invested in him by the United Nations. So understand that what we see happening in Revelation 2, where the 10 kings are now empowered and authorized to rule the world by the formation of a political entity, these 10 kings will be able to rule the world because of the authority given to them by the Constitution of this newly created political entity. Just like President Obama is authorized and empowered to rule America by the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States is something that is adopted by the corporation of the United States and controls the power and authority of its president to act and rule the citizens of America. You know, Obama just didn't become president and say, now I'm president, I can do what I want to do. No, he has been authorized and empowered to do certain things, and he cannot do certain things because his power is given to him by the Constitution of the United States. No president that is out of office has the power to control the United States military or to exercise any of the powers that are granted to a president. Only the acting president is given those powers by the fictitious political entity that he represents. So that would be the same situation with this 10-nation kingdom, who will be authorized and empowered by Satan, who will create a worldwide political entity that they will use to govern the world as a one-world government. Revelation 17:2 shows these 10 kings were waiting to receive their kingdom when they sat upon the scarlet-colored beast. They were sitting upon the scarlet-colored beast, waiting for their political nation-state or fictitious political entity to be incorporated. Revelation 13:2 shows the 10 kings have now received power and authority. The 10 crowns shown in Revelation 13:2 signifies that the corporate political nation-state that will rule the world has been incorporated, and the 10 kings have now received their kingdom. In Revelation 13:2, the 10 kings have now been authorized and empowered by Satan to rule the world as a one-world government. George Bush calls this the New World Order. Their kingdom is the world. They are empowered by a fictitious corporate entity that rose up out of the sea. That fictitious corporate entity is the beast. The beast is a legally recognized person with all the constitutional rights and privileges of any natural person born of the flesh and blood from the womb of a woman. The Antichrist that will rule the world is a corporate political entity. The Antichrist is an artificial person. Nevertheless, this is the person created by men to serve the will of Satan. This political corporate entity will be governed by an alliance of 10 kings. You say that again. Understand. This political corporate entity that you know, the one world government or the New World Order, is the Antichrist. This political entity will be governed by an alliance of 10 kings. These 10 kings, again, will be empowered and authorized to rule the world by the political entity that gives them the authority to do so, just like Obama is given the authority to do what he does as president. Those powers are given to him by the Constitution. The Antichrist that will rise up in the latter days is not a man born of flesh and blood person, fictitious corporate entity recognized by men as a living person. So there you have it. Now you should understand what you have been confused and deceived to believe, that the Antichrist is a man. The Antichrist is not a man, no more than Obama is the devil. Obama is a man serving America and empowered to do what he does because of the position he holds as President of the United States. His power and authority is given to him by the Constitution, and any power that he has to veto any security matter coming to the United Nations is authorized and given to him because he serves in a position, a corporate political position of President of the United States. You see? Let's move on.